Hey y'all, welcome. June 17th. Welcome to our Q&A for this week. One moment while I make sure everything is good to go. Been having some technical issues this morning. Hope your day is going well though. I'm here with you guys for the next half hour or so to answer any questions that you guys might have about uh, being successful as a barbershop owner, whatever you guys want to talk about today. Let me know, type your questions in the chat, and I'm here for you. So, one second while I pin this comment real quick. Here we go. All right, here we go. There we are. Do you guys notice that I'm like getting better at using this live streaming software? I don't know if it's worth it still, but yeah, I'm trying to get better. Trying to get better for y'all. I'm a big believer in trying to get your content in as many places as possible. So I'm doing this not live streaming, not free live streaming software. So I can try to stream to Instagram, YouTube. I think we're on Facebook as well. Maybe some other platforms. Twitch, that's a new one. Yeah, so we're live on all these platforms. There is a huge delay. So if you guys ask a question and it takes me a while to respond, that's why. It's just because there's a big delay. It's like 10 seconds, 15 seconds from the time you type a question to the time I see it. So just letting you guys know that up front. And if this is your first time joining, welcome. We do these calls usually every Tuesday for now. It might change the time or the day later, but I do these calls just well, one, I get content out of it, so I'll clip some of these things for social media later. If you guys know have been across my social media channels, it's all of my content basically is me just having a meeting with somebody, right? I rarely sit down and record contents just for the sake of making content, um, unless it's a YouTube video. So I do, make YouTube videos for you guys. My channel is Alex J the Barber on YouTube, and that's where I just go a little bit more in depth with the content because sometimes I do clip stuff from our YouTube videos to to for social media. But if you guys need more context on something that I say in a social media clip, chances are I have a YouTube video about it or I have a Q&A recording where I went into more detail about it. Sometimes there are meetings that I record are private and they're only going to be clips from it. So yeah, I'm not going to have like context for everything. But yeah, so today is the 17th of June. We're almost over. We're almost over this month. Well, we're halfway towards the end of this month. So I hope that you guys are having a great month so far. This month for us it's been kind of meh, to be honest. Like wait, it's the beginning of kind of the slow season, it looks like. Our weekends have been slammed, but for the most part, it does look like it's been a little bit quieter, than May. At least May was actually a record month for us. So although we have the potential to break our record this month, I don't. That would be hard, just given that we had a lot of barbers taking time off, a little quieter during the week, etc. So, okay, we got a question here. Guys, type your questions in the chat and I will just kind of answer them as they come in. So Precision Blends wants to know, as a barbershop owner, how many hours a week are you actually cutting hair? Great question. So right now, I limit my hours in the shop cutting hair to about 15 hours a week. So I work Wednesday through Friday, and I work from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And so that's basically my hours as far as cutting hair behind the chair. Most of what I do is right here in this chair in front of a computer. But as far as cutting hair goes, that's about how much time I dedicate to it. Now, when I first started, it was all day. It was every day. It was, I don't know, I didn't count, but it was probably like 80 hours a week or something, because I was in the shop 7 days a week from open to close. And I've only been within the last couple years been able to really dial back my time behind the chair to focus more on the business, like trying to what is the Michael Gerber saying? Michael Gerber, who has this book, which I think every business owner should read, The E-Myth Revisited. He says, what is his saying? Work on your business, not in your business. So I read this book when I first started my shop, and it was a game changer. Although now I know that, there's some things that he mentioned in this here that maybe come later, but you absolutely should have time as a barbershop owner, I think, to work on your business instead of in your business. Now, again, like it depends on where you're at in your journey. But if you're just getting started, I think you need to be in the shop every damn day, as an owner and as a barber. But if over time, right, once you start to get a good team, like I have a really good, strong team, they don't need me there, right? So then I feel comfortable taking a step back, right, and working on the business. And every single time I've done that, every single time that I've taken a step back from cutting hair, the business grows. It's because although I'm not personally generating revenue for the shop, the things that I do, like behind the scenes, actually have a way bigger effect than me cutting hair. So in the short term, like I could make a lot of more money for the shop cutting hair, but in the long term, it actually holds the business back. I think if the owner doesn't have time to dedicate it to work on the business. So hope does that answer your question? How many hours a week are you actually cutting hair? It's about 15 hours. Um, Now I pop in the shop, randomly. It depends on, if I have a reason to be there. But in general, I basically work from home at this point. I actually don't think that's a good thing. I wanna have an office eventually. But from right now, I work from home. I do 99% of my job from home. Um, which, if you guys don't know, this is something that I've recently kind of figured out for myself. But I think that there's only really five ways to grow the barbershop. Keep coming up with more ways, so it's five now. I made a YouTube video a while ago, or it was like four ways, but now I think there's five. And the five ways are you can either get more clients, you can either get your clients to spend more, you can get more barbers, you can get your barbers to produce more, or find another way to make money, right? So those are like the five ways. Get more clients, get your clients to spend more, get more barbers, get your barbers to produce more, or find another way to make money. Those are the only five ways that I know of to grow a barbershop. So I am currently working on getting barbers to produce more and finding additional sources of revenue, right? Because one thing, some of you guys that are watching this might be barbers, and it might be, hard to believe, but I've talked to a lot of barbershop owners because I have a school group where people join for free, and they can interact with me as well as like almost 3,000 other barbers. And I also have a barbershop owner mastermind that's exclusive for barbershop owners. And pretty much without exception, every barbershop owner that I've ever talked to wants their people to make more. Like me included, right? So that's why I'm focusing on like trying to create additional revenue sources because if something's got to cover that additional cost, like if you're going to give your people more, okay, that's fine, no problem, nothing wrong with that. But where's the money going to come from? So just got to answer that question. And then getting people to getting clients. So you can look at two of those skills as marketing skills. So getting more clients is a marketing skill. Getting more barbers is also a marketing skill. It's actually the same exact things so the same things that you would do to get a client, same things that you would do to get barbers, right? So those are both marketing. So you got to know how to market if you're going to own a barbershop or if you're going to be a barber for that matter. Marketing is an essential skill, right? Because some people think they can just go to a commission barbershop, collect their clientele, and then leave and go on booth rent and then live happily ever after. My experience, it rarely works that way because you might have some people follow you, which I'll tell you right now, like probably you're lucky if half your clients follow you, even if you move 5 minutes down the road. So right off the bat, you lost half your clients. And then what are you gonna do to replace the ones that you lose? Because you're not gonna keep them forever. Even our best barbers, that are very, very best, like in terms of retention, are retaining like 91% of their clients, which is fucking amazing. But they're still losing clients, right? So they keep 91 out of every 100 clients they see, but there's nine that they lost, right? And that's just because people move at that level. It's like you're losing clients either because you're too busy or because people are moving. Some people die, right? But um, so yeah, so you have to be able to replace those. So marketing definitely have to have that as a barber and a barbershop owner, and then getting clients to spend more. That is that's I look at that as a retention tactic, a retention problem. You can also sell stuff like products, um, memberships. You can upsell, add-on services, but in general, like what I think the easiest way to get clients to spend more with your business is to just keep them coming back. So retention, right? And the same thing with barbers, right? Get them to produce more. So hair cutting efficiency, we have a how to cut hair faster course in my barbershop owner mastermind. So barbershop owners can learn themselves, but also share the course with their team. And if you guys want info on either one of either my free group or my barbershop owner mastermind group, just DM me the word guide on Instagram. My mini chat automation will automatically send you the details. But retention is really key with clients, right? And then with also with barbers. I think they're actually very closely related. So I think one of the reasons why our retention has skyrocketed in the last couple years for clients is that we've also gotten better at retaining barbers. So very difficult to retain clients if you're not also retaining barbers. Those two definitely work hand in hand. Yeah, and obviously too, one of the things that's a very effective retention tactic for clients is a membership program, which I'm currently working on a membership program, our membership course. So yeah, if you guys want, let me know if you do you want me to give you like a sneak preview of the membership course. Now it's for the Barbershop Owner Mastermind, but I can give you guys a free preview while you guys are on the call today. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So let me share my screen. And so this is the free group that I mentioned. So this is the barbershop, the barber mastermind. So this one's free. Anybody can join this. It's free forever. There's no nothing. It's always going to be free. And then if you go to the barbershop owner mastermind, this is where the classroom is. And this has all the courses inside of our community. Um, how to run ads on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. How to price your haircuts, how to cut hair faster, like I mentioned earlier. Let's see how to get clients for free on Google, how to hire barbers and stylists. So, yeah, we got a lot of courses in here. Just finished this rebooking course for this community, so that's going to be helpful for anybody that wants to get better at rebooking. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we got the membership course, right? So this is basically the outline of the course. What I'm going to be doing is going through everything here, right? So I just finished the first like four videos. So I just recorded these three earlier this week. So memberships versus loyalty, how memberships have affected our retention. I show real examples. And then I also show like how our memberships are structured, and I give links to like our actual website on where you can see all the information. The next video I'll record probably sometime this week is avoiding some of the common mistakes, and then we're going to get into designing the right membership offer using the real examples from my barbershop. This is actually, I would say this one and this one are going to be the most important modules because first you got to design it right, and then you got to make sure you got the right tech set up on the back end. And then this one is easy, right? If you design it right, then selling it is easy. Like you don't have to be good at sales if you have a membership that's so good it almost sells itself, right? Then of course, like managing it, and this will probably become a long course, right? Because as I go through these things, I tend to think of more. So this is probably going to take me a good month or two to finish this. But yeah, that's kind of like the outline of the course. And as you can see, like I just started it. I got this video recorded already. I got the pros and cons of memberships. The power of predictable revenue. So I actually like show my sales in this course and actually show how it affected our sales when we started our membership. Now it did take a while to see like a change, but as you guys will see if you end up going through this course, it does make a difference for sure. And then yeah, and then we're gonna go through the rest of that outline like I showed you guys. But that's basically like the kind of a free preview that you can access. This is only for people in this community for the Barbershop Owner Mastermind. Okay, but yeah, that's kind of like our a free preview of our membership course. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to turn my camera back on. Here we go. All right, cool. So any questions about that? Love the content. Personally work on barbershop owners as well. That's awesome. I think one thing I love about where the barber industry is right now is that there's a lot of people that are giving back, which I think is amazing. So everybody has different styles of, you know, how they ran their barbershop and how they got to be successful. So I don't think that there is a right or wrong way. So I think that I think right now is a great time to become a barber or barbershop owner because there's so much valuable information out there. So thank you, man. Thanks for helping. Thanks for helping out the barbershop owners. 91% retention from first to second visit. So we track retention over a 90-day period. So the retention that we just learned about was this month was actually from February. Does that make sense? So February happened, right? And then March, April, May, and now we're in June. So we have to wait 4 months for our retention to become accurate. Like we can look at it now, but I tell the barbers, I'm like, don't, it's not accurate until 4 months have passed, right? Because that's the window that we look at. So whatever that month was, plus another 90 days, now we can see that this is accurate. And we've tried to go shorter than that, but we found that the short the shorter you go, like the less accurate it is, because not everybody's coming back within that 90-day period. Um, the reason why I think is because not everybody gets their haircut every month, you know? Like how often would you say you guys get your clients get their haircut? I actually just learned this number like couple just a couple months ago. So you guys let me know how often do you guys think your clients come in? It's a frequency of visit on average is what the question that we're trying to answer. Ours was I think it was like 8 weeks or something like that. Somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. So I was wrong, you know, because I assumed this is the difference between having an assumption and like knowing the data. Like I assumed that everybody was coming in once a month, but actually, if you average out our system, like averages out all of our clients. So there's people that come in once a week, and then there's people that come in once a year. So the average of all of our clients ends up being like somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. But we actually have different membership programs, and our most popular one is the once a month one, where they can get one service a month, and that yeah. So we have most of the like this. We have almost 700 people on our membership program right now, paying anywhere between 35 to 140 a month. And then we also have an annual membership, which I'm going to get into in the course. But yeah, the single is the most popular by far, like not even close. Like we could probably get rid of all the other ones and just keep the single, and we would keep the majority of our clients. Depends on the client. Some people are weekly, bi-weekly, some are 4 to 8 weeks. Yeah, for sure. What we're trying to figure out is the like the average. Like, what is your average client? Because that's actually something I had to guess on, which I hate guessing. But sometimes when you're trying to figure out like a client's lifetime value, like how much is a client worth to you, those are some of the numbers you need to know. So I found some kind of back of hand math way to do it. Um, but yeah, we finally found out what the actual number was like a couple months ago, and it's turned out it's actually the frequency of visit is lower than I thought. But actually, you know, the memberships actually help with that because we've noticed that the frequency of visit for clients is actually much higher since we started the membership program. So kind of makes sense when you think about it. But if somebody's paying for their haircut every month, they're way more likely to come in and actually get their haircut, right? Um, Also, rebooking helps. Rebooking is not a replacement, I think, for having a membership, and people are way more likely to rebook if they have a membership. But if you don't have the ability to create a membership program, or you don't want to, then the way to increase your frequency of visit is through rebooking. So that just means before the client leaves for the day, like they have their next appointment booked. That's how we define rebooking. So they came in and they booked their next appointment before the end of the day. Most people do it in store, but it still counts in our software if they actually go home and rebook it. So rebooking is a very powerful way to to get your frequency of visit up to increase retention because at a certain point, hopefully, all you guys will have this problem where you're going to be too busy, and the clients that used to be able to just walk in or book the same day with you are not going to be able to do that anymore. So that's why if you're starting to see that, then that's kind of a sign that you may want to put some effort into getting better at rebooking, which that's why I made a course about it because it's one of the easiest ways that you can increase your frequency of visit, increase your retention. But one of the bad things that comes with rebooking is that you could potentially have higher no-shows. So there's actually some ways to reduce your no-show rate that we've been testing. The first thing I started doing was the first thing I did to reduce our no-shows was to make it easy to cancel. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but if you're having a problem with no-shows, you can probably make your no-show rate go down by making it easier for people to cancel, right? Because if they don't know how to cancel, they don't know how to use your software, or if they have to like jump through 100 hoops, they might just like not do it, right? And then just not show up. And then, sorry, man, something came up last time. Where in the text messages that we send, tell them exactly how to cancel or reschedule, right? So that's the first thing I did first thing I did was I started tracking our no-show rate because um, most people, including us, my software doesn't even track no-show rate, right? It shows us our no-shows, and I had to like manually calculate like what is our no-show rate. I don't know. So I just took how many appointments do we have, how many didn't show up, divide that number, that's our no-show rate. And that's the first time we started tracking it, right? And because you can't really track something, it's hard to improve something without first knowing where you stand. And then we started figuring out how do we drive this number down. Um, so then, first thing, make it easy to cancel or make it easy to reschedule, right? Another thing is if you have like a if you have reminders that go out, which I hope you do, I would say you should send a text message and an email reminder with every single appointment. We send a 24-hour one and then a 2-hour one. We've actually tested the timing so far that works the best for us. 1 hour reminder is like too soon. Like, and then 4 hours is like too much, right? Because people like forget about it, right? So 24 hours and 2 hours seems to be kind of the sweet spot. Do you guys send reminders for your appointments? I'm just curious. What is your timers set up for your reminders? Let me know because maybe I'll change ours and test it. But one of the things that we started actually we created a third reminder. So because we started getting really good at rebooking, so we actually found that we created a 1 week reminder. So they get a 1 week reminder if they're booked more than a week out. So they got 7 days to cancel it, right? If they don't want to come in, and then they get a 24-hour, and then they get a 2 hour. And so then that was like, I would say step two or step three of the road to like reducing no-shows. By the way, it's never gonna be zero. Like you're always gonna have no-shows. Even when we had people prepaying for their haircut, we still had no-shows. So there's absolutely nothing you can do to make your no-show rate go down to zero. I'm just trying to go through show you what the journey we've gone through so far to reduce our no-show rate. So it started with make it easy to cancel or reschedule, send a shit ton of reminders, right? And play with the timing of the reminders. And the one of the more recent things we've been doing is we send another reminder if they didn't confirm. So the day of it's actually become so important that it's actually on our opening checklist for when we open the barbershop. So when we open the shop in the morning, it's somebody's responsibility. One of the barbers has to go over to the computer, see who hasn't confirmed, and then text all of them, right? And our system makes it easy. We can do one blast to everybody that just people that haven't confirmed, and and then that helps reduce no shows, right? Because some people are like, oh, cancel, you know. I don't know why. I think it's because um my theory is like people can tell if a text is automated or not. So when we send that blast in the morning, we type it in a way to where it looks like somebody typed this, right? It's not like an automated text with a bunch of links in it. It's like, hey, are you planning on coming into your appointment today? You know, we try to be nice about it, but like when we only send that to people that don't confirm, right? So the people that have confirmed their appointment, that responded to the reminder saying, yes, I'll be there, they don't get these messages. So if anybody like complains about it, then you're just like, well, only people that don't confirm get those. So if you don't want to get those, then just confirm your appointment and we won't bother you, right? And one of the more recent things that we've been doing that has helped to reduce our no-show rate is we started for anybody that does eventually no-show, because like I mentioned, you're going to have no-shows no matter what. We started requiring deposits. So if they no-show, then the next time they go to book online, the system is going to force them to pay a deposit. It's just $10 deposit per service, and they just apply it to the service when they come in. And it's not forever; it's just for that 60-day period. So if they had at least one no-show in the last 60 days, then for the following 60 days, they're gonna have to pay a deposit. Pretty simple, right? So far, well, we've had very few. We have had some complete people complain about it. But honestly, the people that complain about it are not really the clients you want, anyways. Um, but all of these things that I just mentioned have helped to reduce our no-show rate. Um, and I will say too that people that are newer, like barbers that are newer, tend to be more affected by no-shows. That's just the way it is, right? Because the ultimate way to get somebody to show up for their appointment is to make it so that they want to. It's, it's not like a all the ta all everything I just mentioned are tactics, right? But ultimately, people aren't going to come back if they don't want to. So if somebody, even if they rebook their appointment, I'm sure you guys have seen this too. Like somebody could like hate their haircut, but they'll leave you like a $20 tip. Like I don't know why people do that, right? But I see it all the time. Well, not all the time, but like I've seen it where people like they walk out of the shop, they're smiling, they leave a $20 tip, and then like 3 days later, 1 star, one star Google review, like, what the hell? Why didn't you just tell us that when you're. Um, so I don't get it, but yeah. So the thing is like if you want people to show up for their appointments, they have to want to. Right. That's the ultimate hack to reduce your no-show rate is they have to want to come back. And being busy also helps with that. So if you're a busy barber and clients know that if they cancel their appointment and they're gonna have to wait 3 weeks to reschedule, you'd be surprised. They might move heaven and earth to try to make it to that appointment. So that's at least what I've observed in my shop. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. Is there any last questions that you guys have? Yeah, I've been going through the stuff that, our challenges that we've been having the last couple months. As of right now, I think the opportunity is just kind of filling our schedule. We have a new barber starting today. So we actually have more barbers now than we have chairs available at one of our locations. So that's going to be interesting. Been a while, but it's not the first time. We're just basically going to start sharing stations. And yeah, the goal is to try to get our business ready to expand. So optimizing the business is the goal for this year. Um, Trying to get that profit to like that 15, 20% margin range. And by the way, guys, when I say profit, I'm not talking about what I make. So I'm talking about what the business makes after everything is paid, including me. Right? 15 to 20% minimum, right? So some people say profit, right? And they're like, but they're really talking about um, what they got paid. And it's like that's not how I define it, at least. And that's really not how most businesses define it, right? You as the owner are just another line item on the expenses, right? So that needs to be accounted for, right? So my business, when I say profitable, like it means after everything was paid, after the barber was paid, after I was paid, everything, right? I want to have 15 to 20% left over. To be honest, we're closer to like 10% right now. But that's because I'm also spending a shit ton of money on marketing. Like we spent like 11% of our revenue last month on marketing. So I'm looking forward to turning down our budget on ads. So that will instantly create profit. But right now, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of profit to keep the barbers busy. But once we get to August, our busy season, I'm turning those ads down because we're not really going to need them. And that's the ultimate business, I think, is to be in a position where you don't need to advertise, right? And that's retention. That's all it is. If you don't need to market for new clients, then that means you're retaining your current clients. And that's very powerful because if you add marketing on top of that, assuming you have the capacity, then your business grows, right? So it's very difficult to grow a barbershop um, purely by marketing. Like you have to get new clients in the door and then you have to keep them. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on marketing, a lot. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I've gotten pretty good at marketing is because we've been trying to solve this retention challenge for quite a while. And I think we're finally at that point where I would say pretty confidently, like we know how to retain clients. It's showing in our numbers. So we are not going to be dependent on marketing for much longer, which means business is going to become more and more profitable, which means the barbers can make more and more money, and then we can grow faster, right? Because if you have two barbershops that have the same exact revenue, but one is making no profit and the other one is very, very profitable, which barbershop do you think is going to grow faster? Right? It's probably the one with more profit, right? So that's what I'm shooting for. That's why I'm shooting for that. All right. Well, I think that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up in the free group in the community. You can get an invite just by DMing me with the word guide. I'll see you next week. Thank you.